Hey, everybody, how you doing? Woo! Welcome to PHLY Flyers postgame presented by Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me, our good luck charm here live in the Xfinity studio. It is Mellerman himself, Michael Ellerman, joining us here for today's pre- and post-game coverage. And I'm going to see who I have to talk to. That woo took a lot out of me. I am going to see who I have to talk to get you on full time here. One game, one regulation win. That's a hell of a start.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to take credit for every single bit of that, Bill. I am okay with it. You know, I was going to try and woo with you, but the power of your woo it startled me. I couldn't join in
a little.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, regulation win, crunch time, no overtime, power play goal. I mean, all the things happened. The Flyers are 1-0 in my tenure on this show. I like it. I like it.
Late penalty kill. They don't give up the lead.
Yeah.
That was shocking.
I mean,
I'm sorry, that got me good. So the Flyers now with the 4-1 win over the Sharks are 9-3-1 since the Olympic break. Tonight, they scored the first goal of the game for just the 23rd time this season. I got to tell you, after that first period, it was a little physical in the first, but there was just not a ton happening. Each team, I think, put up 6 shots. This looked very much like a third game, and as JJ kept saying, 3.5 days because of the afternoon starts, a 1 p.m. puck drop in California. It looked like an afternoon getaway day game where, I don't know, someone's going to win this game 3-1, and it's whoever turns the puck over the least, basically. And from there, after the first period, it became a very entertaining game. It was physical. We saw some big saves. We saw the Flyers create a bunch of chances. We saw Vladar stand on his head a couple times late in this game. Just the overall level of the game. I know Macklin Celebrini's really good, but in pregame we looked at the scoring, and it was, oh yeah, and then the next two guys combined don't do what Celebrini has done. It just kind of felt like this was, all right, yeah, we're going to just have 3 hours of hockey here, and it turned into a much better game than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder, we talked a little bit in the pregame about how the first meeting between the Flyers and the Sharks was a game that the Flyers dominated. One of the few games that the Flyers have dominated this year. So you wonder if the Sharks were coming out in that first period trying to slow the game down, trying to maintain possession more. They got killed in the possession battle in that previous game, so maybe that was intentional strategizing on their part. But yeah, it opened up, particularly in the third period, just chances up and down, left and right. It was, a lot of physicality, a lot of people, a lot of interesting, play in the corners.
I was really, really happy with the style of game we got, and I just have to give it to the Flyers for this one. This is, as we've said a couple of times in the last few weeks, like going back to that Minnesota game, where it's, oh yeah, you're up against the second or third best team in hockey, going Philly to Minnesota back to back, and they're sitting there rested for you. The LA game, LA hadn't played since Monday. It was a back to back. This could have easily been a scheduled loss. And they came out and really fought today, and actually fought. We'll get into that a little later in the show. A couple of guys dropping the gloves. Like I said, more physical than expected. But you look at how this road trip has gone and really what they have done here in the last few weeks. It is impressive. Now, of course, that 6-2 loss to the worst team in the East really stands out. But even against Columbus, you're able to get a point. And now with this little stretch that they are on, they've put themselves at least in position to make things interesting here in these, final 13 games, Michael. So they are at 80 points. They are 4 points behind Boston and Detroit for a wild card spot. Those two teams play each other tonight, so you just have to hope one wins in regulation. Columbus has actually taken over that third spot in the Metro. They're up 4-2 right now, and the Islanders are on the outside looking in. You're 3 points behind the Isles. There is a path here. It's you need a whole lot of things to go your way. You need a couple of teams, one of these wild card teams. You need to get ahead of the Islanders before you do anything else. But there is a path to the playoffs, which I don't know, 2 weeks ago I thought was nah, it's over. We're doing tankathon.
Yeah, I mean, if the door is slightly cracked, can the Flyers kick it down? Like that's the question. We've talked a little bit about how this team, they tend to play up to their stronger opponents and they tend to play down to their weaker opponents. That's a sign of a young team that's still trying to figure things out. And this could have very well been another one of those play down moments for them. I mean, the Sharks are in the playoff mix, but they're hardly a premier team. And
yeah, the West is terrible.
Yeah, the West is.
It is unbelievable how bad everybody but those three teams in the Central is.
Yeah, I know. And, the Flyers do a good job of, taking care of business. It's essentially what they're doing today, right? They're controlling what they can control. They're getting themselves back into the conversation. Can they keep it going? I like what TK said about this. He's like, I want to be nipping at their heels. If they slip up even a little bit, we're going to be right there.
And it is going to take that. Someone, especially given the tiebreaker situation, this was only the 21st regulation win of the season for the Flyers. Like, they are going to have to match and then get ahead of anyone they are going to finish ahead of in the standings, because they ain't winning any tiebreakers against any of these teams. They all have like 4 or 5 or more regulation wins, more than the Flyers do. So it is a tough road. It is difficult. It might not be the most realistic thing, but we've seen this team pull off weird stuff in the past. Not to compare it to the 2010 team, because like they were awesome. Outside of goaltender, that was an awesome team. and like they needed the last day of the season, they win a shootout against Henrik Lundqvist to do it. Like that was highly improbable, and they were still able to pull it off. We've seen them go on these late season runs in the Giroux era where it's, I just don't think so. There was a 10-game losing streak in there you can look at and go, yeah, if it wasn't for that, we'd be in. But then they somehow pull it off. It is doable. It's not likely. There are teams playing real well. Like I said, Columbus right now, they've pulled ahead into the playoff spot, and they're winning 4-2 over Seattle. Like, there's other teams who are also playing well that kind of hurts you. But maybe if one of these two wildcard spots is vulnerable after tonight, a regulation win for one of those two teams, it's a possibility to at least get in there. All right, on the other side, we're going to talk about tonight's game changer. Now, if this guy keeps going the way he's going, makes the chances of the playoffs a lot more likely. We will talk about that and a whole bunch more on the other side. Stay tuned through these 2 minutes. At Bet365, they know the only thing better than winning bets with your money is winning bets with theirs. And there's never been a better time to do just that than right now. Thanks to their Bet $10 and Get $365 promo, available to every single new Bet365 user. All you have to do is sign up, make a $10 bet, and win or lose, you'll be given $365 in bonus bets, because it never hurts to have a little extra cheese or bread or onions. And now, Philly fans, thanks to Bet365 early payout offer, leaving early has never been safer. If the team you're riding goes up 10 at any point in the game, Bet365 will pay your bet out right there on the spot. Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the app today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in PA. $10 minimum deposit required. Bonus bet wager excluded from returns. New customers only. 21 plus. Time limits, minimum odds, and T's and C's apply. In-app only. Void where prohibited. March means one thing, that it's go time for the playoff push. And at Elkins Chevrolet, it's go time for real deals. Elkins Chevy is 3 brothers making one promise: to treat you like family and give you a deal that makes sense. Trucks, Elkins has got them. SUVs, they've got those too. And payments that keep you in the game? Absolutely. It's Chevy Truck Month, and those tax refunds are starting to hit as well. That means it's a great time for Flyers fans to check out a new Chevy truck at Elkins. Get up to $7,360 in bonus cash on a new Silverado 1500. Contact Elkins Chevrolet today to see if you qualify for any additional offers. offers. And if you're thinking about making a move, make it to Elkin Chevrolet on Route 73 in Marlton. Elkin Chevrolet, real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of that honkin' good service. Together, let's drive, and together, let's go Flyers. Welcome back to PHLY Flyers post-game presented by Bet365. It's Bill Matz and Mellerman. It's Michael Ellerman here, one of our devoted diehards who decided he could fill in for us today. And I very much thank you for that, because I did not want to be alone today. Charlie is off for his big fantasy baseball draft.
That tracks so well.
Friggin' guy.
It really does.
I'm telling you, and look what happened. No overtime. Maybe Charlie's the problem. Maybe Charlie is the problem.
I really need to know who Charlie took with his first round pick. That's very important to me.
We did these March Madness watch-alongs the last couple days. I did Fridays. Charlie was there on Thursday, and Jamie was just like, he came in with like a book of like baseball notes. He's telling me about this huge keeper league he's been the commissioner of for like 20 years. It's like, fine. You know what? Take off for your fantasy draft, Charlie. It's fine. It's totally okay. I'm going to be in Italy for the playoffs. So this is really annoying to me, quite honestly. It's like, when we booked this trip, I was like, they're not going. They're not going to the playoffs. So now I have to sit here like, oh, I can't wait. No, I'm going to be doing post games from Tuscany.
Don't you dare cancel those tickets, because you know they will tank.
100%. The only way to ensure they get in is just to keep the trip booked and go on it.
Yep.
All right, it's now time for tonight's game changer, driven by Elkin Chevrolet. Elkin Chevy, together, let's drive. It has to be yet again a standout performance from Owen Tippett, getting the credit for tonight's game changer. Scores the goal in the second, +3, 5 shots. Had a chance at the empty netter at the end. Doesn't quite get that to go. But he was, outside of Owen Tippett in the first period and maybe the Garrett Wilson fight, Owen Tippett was the only guy who stood out in the first period, and then he carries that over into the second, scoring the goal. Great use of speed, as he did all game. It's crazy how far he has come. His first period, he laid that big hit on Celebrini as well. He had a chance in the first, but 24th goal of the season. It just felt like from his first couple of shifts, he was going to get one today. You could just feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we all know how gifted, can I use the word gifted, Owen Tippett is on offense. I mean, he's spectacular when he's playing well. No one can keep up with him. He's just a force out there. What we saw today, I think, was a more complete, a more well-rounded game from him. Of course, he scores the amazing goal, but he was all over the ice. Creating chances for himself, creating chances for others. He was playing great defense. He had a number of outstanding tips to create offense for himself. He had the breakaway at the end that Nedeljkovic makes a good save on. That could have iced the game. He was just everywhere. And we've talked probably ad nauseum about how sometimes when Tippett's not playing well, he can be a little invisible. And that just doesn't seem to be the case anymore. The floor of what he can do when he's not playing well is steadily rising.
Absolutely. I think that is a great way to put it. We said for so long, it can't be like, did Owen Tippett not play tonight for 2/3 of the season? Like, oh yeah, he's got 6 goals in the last 7 games. But the next 14, he'll have 1. And you're like, I don't know. I remember like 3 shifts he had in a month. But now it does feel like he is raising that floor, and turning the defense into offense, using his speed in so many different ways. Not just to, okay, I can pull away here and get myself a breakaway, but he beats a defender to the outside again and then cuts back in for a chance today. He draws a penalty, okay, he's by me, and dude just grabs him for a holding call. He is taking advantage of the tools he has for the first time on a really consistent basis. And today, I thought he was the best player on the ice for the Flyers. And listen, in a game where they played Macklin Celebrini, I think he might have been the best player on the ice for both teams.
Yeah, and laying the body, not just on anybody, but on Celebrini.
Huge hit on Celebrini. He had a couple of them. His physicality has been great this season as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about sending a message, I mean, nothing sends a better message than laying out the other team's best player, right? You know, and I don't think it was a coincidence that Celebrini went a little quiet after that hit.
It was, so there were a few shifts where you could really see he gains the zone on the power play goal. There was a couple of times he flashed the skill, but this game got real physical. And listen, he's 19 years old. He's carrying a team. I bet you he's real tired with this condensed schedule. It's not like he had a light workload at the Olympics. Yeah. I bet you he's probably feeling it right now at this point in the season. But I will say, he didn't stand out today the way he normally does. I think the Flyers did a good job, and it starts with that early hit Owen Tippett lays on him.
Yeah, 100%. And, he makes a good play on the power play, obviously. He makes a nice move along the boards that frees up Eklund to get that pass to Orlov. It was an outstanding sequence from him. And he had a couple of moments like that, too, where you can see, see the gears turning, manipulating defenders, moving them to where he wants them to be. He couldn't quite cash in. Maybe that's fatigue. Maybe that's looking over his shoulder a bit. There was a play in the first period where he tried to curl back and TK makes an outstanding defensive play. He just closes the gap on him and pokes that puck away. And that leads to, Tippett getting another breakaway. That's how you have to defend somebody like Celebrini, is you stay defensively responsible. You stay in your lane. You don't chase him, and you make the play when you can make it.
Yeah, you have to be patient, but see, okay, this is the moment I can step up, and this is where I can challenge him. If you mistime that, you're beat. Yeah. He's so good, puck handling, passing, all of it. He's going to beat you, and he's going to beat you a lot in a game, but you can make those couple of plays on him that really, really helps your counterattack, and we saw that tonight. TK was a big part of it, and Owen Tippett, today's game changer. Very impressive once again from Owen Tippett, and I think I should take responsibility for the season he's having after the way after the way I ripped him after his exit interview last April, which I found less than impressive. He has been awesome ever since.
Yeah, the summer's biggest Owen Tippett supporter, Bill Matz.
No, it just keeps being funny to me the way those exit interviews went with Tippett and Michkov, and now. Oh, yeah, it's Michkov who didn't have the big summer and is having a bad year. And it's Tippett who came in like, yeah, I was fine. My season was good. And it was like, no, it wasn't. And now he's having the best season, the most consistent season we have seen him have as a Philadelphia Flyer.
Yeah, maybe Tippett was on something when he said, hey, I've got this figured out.
He's like, I was just trying to get John Tortorella fired. I could have scored 18 more goals this season, but that would have not got John Tortorella fired.
Yeah, he really didn't want to do that bag skate the next
year. The last year of the of endurance testing, and he was like, no, we're not doing another one. We don't need the rope. All right, we have Mellerman here, and if you are a PHLY diehard, you are probably familiar with his expertise in goaltending, which he shares on the Discord quite often. If you're not a diehard, sign up right now. There may or may not be a sale running. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but I went to allphly.com earlier today, and I was logged out, and it was like, sign up for $36 for the year. So if it's there for you too, take advantage. And maybe you too one day can host the show, or at least join the Discord and get some Mellerman's awesome stuff. All right, so Michael, Dan Vladar today. Nice little 960 save percentage.
Yeah, just another day at the office.
It was funny. With like 15 minutes left, the Sharks had 14 shots, and one of the pregame bets was over 21.5 saves for Vladar, and we're both like, yeah, it's going to take a real barrage here to get us to that 22 saves we need. And a barrage is what we got at the end there. This was he was backstopping a very tired Flyers team today. You could see it in the third period, and not a ton of chances in the first 40 minutes, but he absolutely earned it there in the third.
Yeah, watching him in that first period, he looked a little bit off that first period. He had a couple of weird bounces that he kind of survived. He had a puck that kind of skittered through the blue paint. That's always kind of nerve wracking, but he really locked it down in the second and the third period. And third period in particular, I mean, not only is he making big saves, but he's freezing the puck.
Yes.
He's getting that break that the tired players need. The Sharks were doing a great job of keeping the puck in the offensive zone, and the Flyers were scrambling and they were getting tired. And, Vladar comes up with that huge glove save in the third, makes the save clean, gets the face off, gets a change. It's those types of key saves and key moments of the game that you really need from your goaltender, situational saves, if you will.
No, absolutely. And I think that glove save you pointed out was huge, because I do think even when he's played well this season, maybe not so much with the squeezing, he blocks it. He blocks it great. And then now the puck's in the corner. Why?
Yeah.
He's able to actually get that glove save, melt it down tonight. But we talked about just a moment ago how Celebrini was not noticeable for large chunks of this game. That third period power play, where he just decided he's going to pump everything at the net. Vladar was there, and it was just another example of Vladar going, I'm a number one goalie. It was really this might be the best free agent signing the Flyers have had. And listen, short list of guys who've actually worked out as free agents, especially in recent years, but just a guy who comes in with something to prove. And it's I don't know, he's like a career tandem backup guy, bad team in Calgary, who knows how good he actually might be. And it's, oh yeah, come in right away. His save percentage probably up to 908 after today. Really, really impressive stuff from Vladar that I don't know if anyone saw this coming.
Oh, I certainly did not. I mean, I had barely heard of Dan Vladar before he was signed in Philadelphia. It doesn't look like Calgary made a big effort to keep him. I think I heard a little bit of murmuring that they wanted to have him be the backup there, but he wanted a better opportunity. Clearly he's proven up to the task on that. And, we've given Dylan Baugh a little bit of flack, but if he was the one that pointed at Dan Vladar and said, get him here, I mean, he deserves all the credit in the world for that.
Especially in the Flyers situation of, we want to be improved this year. We want to play meaningful games in March and April. And listen, they are now. You can't just throw away a bunch of games because you have Ivan Fedotov in net. That can't be the case. And Vladar hasn't just come in and split time with Ayerson. He has taken the number one job. And today was his 42nd start, which means he's now started more than half the season. Career high was 29 starts coming into this year. That was my workload concern once we got up to 28, 29, 30 starts. I wanted to know how this would go. Now, he does get the break with the Olympics. He plays the one game, sees 12 shots against France.
Yeah.
But he still did it. He still had to travel.
Yeah,
he still had to
practice.
Yeah. He still had to sleep in the double bed in the Olympic Village, that he's 6'5". Yeah. He had to do all these things, though, even though he only played the one game. So it's not like he got to sit on a beach and relax and recuperate the whole time. But I think the most impressive thing, other than stopping the puck, which has been a rarity here the last 2 years, is just his ability to handle more of a workload than I expected, just given his history as an NHL goaltender.
Yeah, first off, the mental image of Vladar sleeping in a tiny bed with his feet hanging off the end. Yeah. That it's hard to do careful analysis while I'm thinking about that. But he's again, I didn't get to watch many of his games in Calgary. I mean, how many Calgary games do you watch a year?
2.
Yeah, exactly.
But 2 against the Flyers.
So, I haven't really been able to look and see what are the differences between his game there and here. But what I'm seeing here, there's nothing in his game that doesn't make me think this isn't sustainable. Everything that he's doing, it's not fluky. It's well-intentioned. It's, deliberate play. It's decisive. He does everything short of handling the puck very well.
Yeah. Which he seems to do a lot less of now, as you pointed out during the game.
Yes. They might have asked him to knock that off. But it's not that he's doing crazy acrobatics in there or anything else that you might think will come and go. Like everything he's doing is very fundamentally sound and solid. I mean, I don't see any reason why he can't keep doing this.
No, absolutely. And since we have someone who speaks fluent goaltender with us here today, Michael, I wanted to ask you. You noticed that Vladar at one point tonight loses his stick, and we've seen that a few times. The one question I didn't get to ask Bush when we talked to him at the carnival was that first year with the Phantoms, 97, 98. I swear he dropped his stick like 4 times a game. And like, was there like, how did you have to work on like holding it more,
Yeah.
like not losing it, like battling through whatever? But anyway, it does seem a goalie just looks naked without his stick. It just looks odd.
Yeah.
The balance seems off. Why is it a big deal actually when that happens?
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned Bush. Like there was a period of time around that time when Dominic Hasek was in his prime where Hasek
he just threw it.
Yeah, he would drop his stick intentionally in order to get covers. He would drop it so that he could use his blocker hand to cover a puck. But to go back to your question, why is it a big deal when the goalie drops the stick? You see it all the time when the announcers call it out immediately. Oh, Vladar doesn't have a stick. It is a very big deal for a goalie for a number of reasons. First off, you use your stick a lot to make saves. That's the obvious reason. You use it to cover your 5-hole when you're moving left to right or right to left. It's an important part of making saves in that respect. But the other piece that we don't talk about enough is you use your stick to help balance yourself when you're in your ready position. Your stick is in front of you. It's balanced off of the ice. It helps keep your overall balance correct. And that is why goalies look like their balance is off when they don't have the stick, because they're used to having that weight there. They're used to having it be sort of a counterweight to the rest of their body. Goalie sticks are kind of heavy. They're a lot heavier than a regular stick. And that weight, you account for it when you're, in your position. So when it's gone, you feel off. Everything feels off.
No, and that's really, really solid there. And you pointed it out right when it happened. And yeah, it's like when you see someone with a beard and they just shaved. You're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, or somebody that
what
used to
happened
have
to your face?
somebody that used to have long hair and now they have.
Yeah, apparently that throws people off, and that's why if you've noticed, there are no more long hair ads. We had to redo all of them.
Yeah,
because they're like, Bill, it looks stupid.
So
you know what? You're probably right.
See, I know the real reason you guys brought me in today is so that I could meet the hair quota for the show.
We have been missing it quite a bit here, and I am glad you were able to oblige. Now, you were saying a few minutes ago, like, you think this is sustainable for Dan Vladar. I was talking in pregame, like, okay, he'll be 29.
Yeah.
But it's a young 29. He's made like under 150 starts or something like that in his career. It's not like he has been starting 60 games a year since he was 22. He's had a lighter workload. And to me, that's just, all right, maybe this is his later peak and he'll not wear down quite as fast as some goalies may because he just simply hasn't had the workload. If you're Danny Briere, are you extending Dan Vladar this summer, or do you need to make sure a few months into the season? Because I have softened my view. At first, I was like, get it done. January 1st, let us check the goaltender box and go on from there. Wait for Zavragan or whoever else to join him, and this is what we do. Now I'm like, well, you have the whole season. Maybe if it's Thanksgiving or Christmas and he's still like a 905, 908 goalie, you go, all right, this really is who you are. Sign your name here. 5 years, please.
Yeah, that's a great question. If I'm Danny Briere, that's a hard decision to make at this point in time. The longer you wait, the better he plays, the more the price goes up, maybe the more the term goes up. Like I think you have a conversation with him this summer, right? Like, you get kind of feel him out a little bit, see what he's thinking, see what he's feeling, maybe get a little nugget from the agent. Like, does he really like it here in Philly? Should we get something done now? What are we thinking about? Maybe make those overtures and see. We don't have to put pen to paper immediately, and have that discussion. we've said many times, goalies take a little longer to reach their peak. Their peak can last a little longer into their 30s. We've seen lots of, especially elite level goalies play well into 35, 36, 37. We need Vladar to bridge the gap between now and when our younger prospects are ready. I want to give those prospects as much time as possible to be ready. I know we're all very excited about Zvragin. I know we're we're excited about Bjornsson.
Sure, yeah.
They're 20 years old. They're going to need 3-4 years at the least. And then that first year when they come into the league as a 23, 24-year-old, they're probably going to struggle.
And that's the, when they do get here, whether it's, it takes a while, like maybe Zvragin comes over at 24, 25, like Sorokin and Shesterkin did, and he's a number one right away. Cool.
Yeah, maybe.
But most of the time, that is not the case with goalies, whether it's Bjarnason, Zvragin, hey, maybe Kolosov figures it out. Whoever that young goaltender is, when they get here, I don't want it to be, okay, franchise is on your shoulders now, kid. Like I still want a veteran goalie around like Dan Vladar who can, even if he's in the role he was in with Dustin Wolf, starting, like the other guy's the number one, but we're going to use you in certain situations. And if things start to turn, it isn't all of a sudden, well, it's Sam Ersson. Yeah, you're playing bad, but too bad you have to play every night anyway because there's no other options. Like Dan Vladar just gives you a steadiness that we haven't had in so long. I am in no hurry to move on from just baseline competence in goaltending. I am very interested in keeping around just so I don't have to watch a team play well defensively and give up 4 because they got 8 shots through.
Yeah, and by all accounts, Dan Vladar has been a great presence in the locker room. Presumably a great presence with Sam Ersson. It seems like he would fit well in that veteran mentor role while also playing well.
While also being very good.
Veteran mentors are also allowed to play well.
Yeah, they don't just have to be Chris Stewart, professional best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
They can actually go out and contribute as well.
Yeah.
And he's done that so far. I'm interested to see how Danny handles the goaltending situation this summer. We've seen reports that they've made calls about guys like Wall and Wallstead, and we'll see what the prices on those guys are. And if that's going to be your tandem, that's a pretty good tandem to have, and it's a nice goaltending situation until one of the young guys gets here. But the Vladar alone makes Danny's handling of the position interesting, something to watch for this offseason, and you can do it every day right here, PHLY Sports. Do we know if the show's going to be at 12 or 1 yet? I don't remember. I know we had the meeting. I don't remember what we decided on. There will be summer hours again. I don't remember what they are. All right, on the other side, we're going to talk about tonight's unsung hero. We're going to get into Matvei Michkov, whole lot of stuff. I know we have a bunch of super chats as well. We'll read all those. And Ellerman, he's going to bring you the 3 stars. Stay tuned for all that after this break. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. You got to check out brand new games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, which is a BetParx exclusive. You can play blackjack, you can play roulette, you can play craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption and 88 Fortunes. Play all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are, and new users right now get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. All your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are. It's the only app I ever use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. Go to betparx.com and download the app right now to enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Remember, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Spring is here, and that also means pest season is right around the corner. Ants, spiders, bees, and other unwanted pests become much more active this time of year, making now the perfect time to protect your home. That's why our friends at Evans Pest Control are running a spring sales event for new customers. If you're new to Evans Pest Control, you can get 5% off general pest control services when you book your first treatment. All you have to do, use the promo code SPRING5 when you schedule your service. This offer runs from March 15th through May 31st, and it applies to standard general pest control treatments designed to keep your home protected from common seasonal pests. Just mention or enter the code SPRING5 when booking to receive 5% off your service. So if you're looking for reliable pest protection this spring, reach out to Evans Pest Control, schedule your service, and use the code SPRING5 to save 5% during their spring sales event. Learn more at evanspestmgmt.com. Welcome back. This is the PHLY Flyers post-game show, and it's time for the Unsung Hero presented by Togo. Togo, the leader in operations outsourcing. Let Togo handle the work that gets in the way of your work. You call the plays, we execute. Togo. I have to, now, there's a number of unsung heroes. The number one guy I am giving this to, it's Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, in his second NHL game since 2019, he fights one of the better fighters of this generation in Ryan Reaves, and I will give a slight edge to Reaves in this one, but he stood in there and was throwing him with a bona fide heavyweight in the NHL, and I'm just happy for the guy. And honestly, we talk about that first period. Yeah, you see, he landed a good one there on Revo. The call of it, the official calling it 5 minutes each for Chuck and Nux was great. He is also one of the unsung heroes, is the official. But his team came out sleepy as hell. This was a sloppy game with just bouncing pucks, just kind of being poked back and forth between each team. There was not much going on in the first period. What can Garrett Wilson do about that? He can do what he did. This is his job as the team's enforcer, to try to bring some energy to that bench. He did everything he could, and for that, I am making Wilson today's unsung hero, the first of a couple of unsung heroes here. Yeah. But I'm just happy for the guy getting some NHL time after 6 years in the AHL.
Yeah, you got to set the tone, boys, right?
Tone.
That's what he was doing. He went out there, he found the biggest guy he could and picked a fight. Let's set the tone. You got to respect it.
And I think that mentality kind of worked throughout this game, because I also want to shout out in this segment Garrett Hathaway for doing what he does best. He puts a big hit on Macklin Celebrini in the third period. It draws a retaliation penalty, and that puts the Flyers on the power play for the go-ahead goal there in the third. That's exactly what Garrett Hathaway does. He plays physically and he draws penalties. Listen, yeah, you need to have more than one goal. Like, that's not enough.
Yeah.
He went through most of the season with 0. I think it was like game 38 or something. He scored his first one. But doing what he does, that's exactly what you need out of Garrett Hathaway. It's what made him seem like the perfect fourth liner. He does take penalties, but he usually gets the other guy to come with him. He pisses the other team off so much they take liberties, and guess what? Now they're in the box. That all happens, and he's a really good forechecker. Yeah. He can get in there, throw the body around, and do what he did tonight. Show Macklin Celebrini, introduce him to the ice, and when you do it that hard to the superstar, the other team's going to retaliate, and he puts them on the go-ahead power play. And he also had a real good shift with Cates at the end.
Yeah.
They were stuck in their zone for like 5 minutes, and Owen Tippett finally gets it out, uses his speed for his zone entry, as he did all game.
Yep.
And then Cates and Hathaway went to work.
Yes, they did.
They went to work on the forecheck in like what was maybe the most needed shift of the game at that point.
Yeah, they held the puck down low, just chewing up clock down there in San Jose's zone. I mean, we're not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, Garrett Hathaway has had a tough season, particularly early in the year. But, he's been showing signs of life lately. No, he's not scoring. Is he at this point in his career a slightly more skilled Nick Delorier? Maybe that's what he is. But, he's going to go out there. He's going to give it everything that he can. He's going to stir up stuff. And, I think the numbers will come around. He's been playing better of late.
And I think it was Kevin Kurz asked the question today pregame, like all the things you could ask, and it was the first question, I think, after Brian Smith did the initial interview was like about Garnet Hathaway. And Hathaway has been better lately. Like, I will say he looks just a lot more like himself. And credit to him for like getting it together in what was basically a lost season for him to be able to now, in what are some meaningful games, do some stuff that
Yeah.
actually helps this team win rather than just, yeah, he played 8 minutes and those were you know, we needed somebody and it was him.
Yeah.
Like, he actually is contributing now, even if he's not putting the puck in.
Bill, it just goes to show that an early season slump does not have to last the whole year.
It doesn't. It doesn't always.
Mhm.
And also want to give an honorable mention to Noah Cates here for fighting Barclay Goodrow after Zegras got absolutely rocked along the boards. And listen, it was a legal hit. It was fine. Looked like all shoulder to chest.
Little forearm in there, I think.
He did just, like, as he turns and goes to get the reverse hit, just kind of turned right into a dude steamrolling at him.
Yeah.
And Barclay Goodrow laid him out. But here comes Noah Cates. They get in the fight. And no instigator.
No
For
instigator.
maybe the first time since I have been a Flyers fan, there was a big hit, and then there was a fight, and there was no instigator penalty, no even the little extra roughing that they throw in there when they don't want to give you the full 17. I was very happy about that, and just happy to see guys like Noah Cates. Like, this is the second time he's done it this year. He did it in the first Ducks game when Bobby Brink got blindsided. Like, it's starting to come together, as I would say to Charlie.
Yeah, and what I really like about Cates, not only sticking up for his teammates, but doing it in the smartest way possible. Like, he knows the game situation. You know, the Flyers are only up 1-0 at that point. You cannot get an instigator. You do not want to put Celebrini on the power play. So he waits and he picks his spot and he gets what he needs to get done without having that extra on top of it. Like, when you just toss your gloves and go straight at the guy, sure, you know, your teammates are going to love that. Everybody's going to tap the boards, but you're putting your team in a bad spot when you do that. Cates picked his spot and accomplished what he needed to accomplish.
And the way this penalty kill has been going lately, there's always like, oh, well, they got no problem killing that penalty. They'll do it all day. And it's, well, they haven't. They haven't killed any penalties. So it's like tough to make that determination when these games are so meaningful. Him doing it in a much more, I'm going to let a second pass and I'm going to wait for him to drop him and then we'll go. Like, that was also a smart play.
Give him a little stick check, give him a little shoulder check, you know, goad him into the fight.
And that's it was just good stuff all around. So we have 3 unsung heroes, the 2 guys making up the forwards playing the fourth line. Plus an honorable mention there for Noah Cates for getting in that fight. Now, I just mentioned the penalty kill. But the power play is god-awful. They came into the game 29 for 197 on the season. They had 2 power play goals in March, the last one on the 9th of this month. 2 for 27 in March before today. 7.4% somehow is only 31st in the league. The Blues are 1 for 15 this month. That seems insane. But they end an 0 for 20 drought with the power play goal in the third period, courtesy of Christian Dvorak. And the power play has, like, it's just become such a joke because it does look like they're doing better stuff, but they can just not score. This team refuses to put the puck in the net. And today they finally break through. 1 for 21 and then like 1 for 24 or something by the time the game was over. But they actually got it done and scored on the power play in a pretty meaningful situation.
Yeah, I mean, we need to come up with a better joke than visually it's better. You know, we'll do some workshopping on that and get back to you folks. But, you know, I mean, they got the goal, right? Like, you know, a little papaya power play goal there. It's been so long. Like, can do the Titanic meme now. It's been so long.
Like, they got Trevor Zegras and the power play got a little worse.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem possible. Like, they got a guy who's just known for making plays in space. And it's like, yeah, even he can't fix this. But at least today they get it done. Christian Dvorak gets the goal. He badly needed one.
Yes.
Speaking of droughts, 8 games he hadn't scored. I think he had 1 in his last 19. I said on pregame, he's had a really good season. He does a lot of things for this team, but for what they're paying him, you got to get some offense. And it's great to be able to play the minutes he plays, to be able to win faceoffs. But we're starting to see the offense come back a little as well, and that's really cool. Getting the goal today, go ahead, big situation on the power play to end a personal and team drought.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned it a little too. I mean, not only does Dvorak score the goal, but he plays a strong, solid all-around game. Won some key faceoffs.
Yes.
You know, towards the end of the game, especially one in the Sharks zone that allowed them to chew up more time. I mean, Dvorak had he's quietly been leading the team in expected goals for the last 10 games, apparently.
That was the thing. It's like he's not putting up a ton of points, but he is in and around a lot of dangerous plays. It seems like the play goes the other way when Dvorak is out there. We're getting on offense with him. Now he finally cashes in, and it was in a huge spot.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, earlier in the season, we would see the occasional slick play from him, a high skill play where he would score. That piece of his game seems to have been, in a bit of a slump. Maybe today it'll start coming back.
That would be really cool to see. On the other side, we're going to talk a little bit more about that power play goal because it was a milestone for somebody who happened to be in on it. We will talk about that. Take all your super chats, do 3 stars. So much still coming up at the final 15 or so minutes. All you got to do, get through this final break. Do we really want Matvei Michkov playing goalie? No, it's not worth the risk, the time, or the money. It doesn't make sense. You want to keep your stars focused on what they do best, and the same applies to your business. For small and mid-sized businesses competing with bigger companies, it isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. With competition heating up, you can't afford to fall behind. AI goes way beyond ChatGPT, and it gets overwhelming fast. That's why having a trusted guide like Togo matters. Togo streamlines your operations by handling customer service, accounting, order management, logistics, admin, data entry, and even complex multi-step processes without the cost of building it all in-house. And every engagement with Togo starts with free process mapping, and Togo doesn't bill a dime until the real work begins. Programs start as low as $1,000 a month and are built to scale without breaking the bank. Visit harnesstogo.com and mention PHLY for a free operational assessment. Tax season is funny because it's one of the only times a year people actually look at their full financial picture. You see what you made, what you spent, what you saved, and sometimes you're thinking, wait, where did all that go? Well, now you can simplify your finances with Monarch. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It helps you see exactly where your money's going and where something like a tax refund can actually make the biggest impact, whether that's paying down some debt or building up your savings. What I like is that Monarch actually helps you stay proactive. Their AI Insights tool highlights spending trends and patterns you might miss, and the weekly recap keeps you updated on things like spending spikes, changes in your net worth, or upcoming expenses. Achieve your financial goals for good with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes money management simple. Use code PHLY at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code PHLY. All right, welcome back. We're at 139 likes, and that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. We know it would be a lot better 200. That's all I'm telling you. All right, we got to talk about Matvei Michkov for a minute here. He had what I thought was a really, really solid game the other night after what I thought was an ugly game in Anaheim.
Yep.
Came back today, and much like everybody not named Owen Tippett, quiet first period.
Very quiet.
I had to look up I was like, what was this? Did he only get like 2 shifts?
Yeah.
I had to look up his ice time. No, he played like over 5 minutes in the first period, but just not a whole lot happened while he was out there. And I thought he slowly got into this game, and by the end it was, he contributed, picks up the assist, the secondary assist on the Dvorak power play goal. Zegras gains the zone, dishes over to Mish. Mish finds TK. TK gets it over to Dvorak on the far side. And that is career point number 100 for Michkov. And since 1990, he is now the 4th fastest flyer to 100 points. He's done it in 148 games. You see Gagne in 139, Michael Remberg 103, and then Eric Lindros in 76 games. Just absolutely ridiculous.
That guy was pretty good, huh?
That is a pretty damn good list to be on. Claude Giroux, not listed here. We've seen a lot of players have pretty decent starts to their career. And since, in the last 36 years, only these three guys have beat him to the first 100 points. He could have got there considerably sooner if it wasn't for his just absolutely ridiculously slow start to this season. He's had three game point streaks now. He had a point on every game of this road trip, and the other 2 3-gamers were in November. That's it. That is the type of season he has had, where he just hasn't been able to string strong performances together. I don't think he was as good as he was in LA, but he got into it, and eventually he had a big hand in the win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously he gets the assist. It was good play, not going to take that away from him, but very quiet first period. But as the game went along, he started to pop up more here and there. We were noticing him towards the end of the game. I mean, first off, he's getting shifts, with 6 minutes to go in a 1-goal game. Fantastic. That's what we want to see from the coaching staff with Michkov. And, he was making good plays. He was chipping the puck out of the zone. He was not a defensive liability on those shifts. I mean, it's an all-around good game. What more can you ask from him, Mr. Rick Tocchet?
Now, there are still some times, we were talking about it during the game, he just seems to puck handle himself into trouble.
Yes.
The decision-making is sometimes, it's just I don't know, the decision-making was so much quicker last year. I do think he is just struggling to think, all right, what am I supposed, not what is the most natural, awesome play I can make, because so much last year was just, oh, guy's open over there, I'm going to skip this pass and get it over to Owen Tippett on the far side when no one even thought he was open. And this year it does just seem like, what am I supposed to do? And all of a sudden he's out of room and turns it over, throws a bad pass, just puts a weak shot on net. But he's doing that a lot less, I would say.
Yeah, I've seen improvement on that, but we definitely talked earlier in the season of, and even Rick Tocchet admitted that maybe they gave him a little bit too much information to process. And, we've seen, when you can see a player thinking out there, that's not good.
Can only hurt the club.
Yeah, it can only hurt the ball
club. The more
club.
you're thinking, the worse trouble you're going to be in. All right, and with that, it is time for Michael Ellerman's 3 stars of the game. That's right. Charlie's not here, and I gave his segment away, damn it. So we are going to do the 3 stars, and it's going to be our friend Michael doing it.
Michael's 3 stars. I like the sound of that, Bill.
Michael,
not going to lie.
Who is star number 3?
So star number 3, Bill, look, I'm a man of the people. So I put a poll on our Discord server.
Here you go.
Become a diehard so that you can participate in fun activities like this. And the people have spoken. The winner of the Discord poll for 3rd star was Noah Cates.
Noah Cates.
Noah Cates.
Right. Noah Cates.
He
scores the empty netter.
Yep, scores the empty netter, sticking up for his teammates. All around good game. We've come to expect that kind of detail-oriented game from Noah Cates. Has been a little bit on fire here lately. He's scoring quite a bit. So 3rd star, Noah Cates.
Yeah, absolutely. He has been on a real scoring stretch. I was going over this with Charlie the other day. I've been ripping him for that one. Basically, the Flyers' bad January. You look at it and go, well, Ayrton started a bunch of games. And also, hey, Noah Cates didn't score at all. And there was just a couple of guys where you go, man, that stretch that they had really hurt them. Cates, despite that, he had 4 assists over 18 games or something with no goals. He's going to have the best numbers of his career, even with that in there. And he's been on fire since the Olympics. So that's great. Star number 3. Who is tonight's number 2?
Star number 2, I mean, you could have put Christian Dvorak here, but, I'm a goaltending guy. I'm going to give it to Dan Vladar. A little bit shaky in the first period, but just locks it down, only gives up the 1 goal. That is 2 goals total he's given up to San Jose Sharks this year. The guy is just continues to exceed our expectations.
He does.
Key stops in the 3rd period, melting that puck down, getting his teammates breathers. Dan Vladar, 3rd star.
Yeah, I think Dvorak,
2nd star.
I thought Dvorak would have had the edge until that 3rd period, specifically that power play. When they, and like even beyond the power play, the Flyers were on defense for the whole second half of the 3rd. And for once, like it usually frustrates me. For once, I'm just like, they're dead freaking tired. Like they're in California. It's a day game. They've been going to overtime every single night. Like it all makes sense. And Vladar was there. He was their best player
so a lot
in
of
that period.
A lot of bonus hockey they've been playing lately.
They play a ton of bonus hockey. All right, Michael, who is tonight's first star?
Well, of course, it's Cam York. No, wait. It's Owen Tippett, guys. Like,
yes.
we know it's Owen Tippett.
A regular of the segment at this point.
Yeah,
Owen Tippett.
I mean, he's just been the last 2 weeks on an amazing tear. He's just been playing out of his mind. He was everywhere in this game, scoring goals, hitting people, making good defensive plays. I mean, that was a hockey man's hockey game right there out of Owen Tippett. You know, what else can you say?
No, I mean, we've dedicated a whole bunch of segments to Owen Tippett over the last few weeks, and it is well-deserved, and as is his number 1 star. Got the scoring started tonight, was, I think, the Flyers' best skater. First star of the game, Owen Tippett. There we go. Those are Michael Ellerman's first stars, the inaugural edition. Perhaps he will replace Charlie permanently. Charlie's not going anywhere.
I'm coming for your 3 stars, Charlie.
Just got a fantasy draft.
You can have the rest of the show, Charlie. I'm taking the 3 stars, though.
Yeah, that's. I hope Charlie is okay with me making fun of him, but also I'm here and you're not. I get to. All right, let's get to your super chats.
Super chats.
Purple Crayon leads things off. What's going on, Harold? The team is unjanuarying itself.
Yeah, I mean, look, no, you go ahead.
No, just while I'm pleased with what it is they're doing,
yeah,
it's just, well, yeah, they are making up for it, at least in like what I believe their ceiling is or could be.
Yeah.
What they did to themselves in the standing, as we went through at the top of the show, is put yourself in a situation where you need not just to continue playing at this level, you need 2 other teams to dramatically fall off to give you an actual chance to get in. And that really is what January did to them, is put them, you're not in control of what is going to happen. It's not just, well, if we win our games, we're in. No, other teams have to lose too.
Yeah. And look, I'm not afraid of the 13th pick. I'm just not. I mean, Roger McQueen was almost the 13th pick, right?
Yeah,
he went 12th overall, you know, I think. You know, there are good players to be found there. The Flyers may find them. They're a young team. The 13th pick is okay.
And if this is just their baseline, not their ceiling, like we talked about in pregame, there are worse fates than being in the mushy middle when you're young. It's when it's, oh yeah, everyone's in their prime and we're a second wild card team.
Yeah, and
like
you're capped out. And,
you have no cap space and you've traded first round picks.
Yeah, no.
All right.
You're Toronto, essentially.
Yes, exactly. Next one here is from JH. Grab a broom and new shorts because we're going streaking. Absolutely. Listen
to the quad.
Now here comes the big test. Can they, for the first time since February of 2024, win 4 in a row? Here comes the big test.
Have we guaranteed a loss in the next game? Who are playing this game?
I think just winning a 3rd straight game guarantees a 4th. It's just the way it goes with these guys.
Yeah.
All right, next one here. It's JH again. It says, Mellerman, bro.
Hey.
It appears you have quite a few fans and friends in the super chats and just in the chat in general today.
Hey, there are a lot of great people in the chat and in the Discord server.
I love seeing the chat. Sometimes I get a commercial or go in there. If I see like a lot of exchanges going on, I'll look up at the screen. Mm-hmm. I love when there are just conversations going on that have nothing to do with what, like, you've just decided, everyone in the chat has just decided, like, no, this is what we think is interesting.
That's right.
We're going to talk about this. I'm like, oh, great. As long as you're here. I don't care if you're listening to me or not. Mm-hmm. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
All right. Next one here is Timbo Slice. But before that, why don't we trigger overtime?
Overtime.
Go to allphly.com to keep watching today's show.
I almost did the buzzer, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that to Kelly.
All right. From Timbo, he says, woo, why not us? East over West confirmed. Boys are running the table. Vladar, Vezina, Michkov Mania. Devoted. I like that one. That one might be new.
Yeah.
Owen Tippett, Sandheim. Well, I can't. What is this?
Sandheim Asylum. Yeah.
That's good stuff too. And hashtag Noah guy. Those are all these.
Timbo
Slice. You've picked up the game.
Timbo Slice, the wordsmith.
Yeah, there's quite a few good ones in there. It is so funny. Like in the beginning of the year, everyone was just looking at, oh man, the West is so much better than the East. It's like, yes, they have the great teams. There's 3 of them. They're all in the same division.
Yeah.
And the whole rest of the league, is Vegas still a negative goal differential? Like they are, their record is, they have as many overtime games as anyone. Yeah, they have 14 overtime losses. They have a +2. Vegas, they're not negative anymore. They're +2. The East is at least like competitive.
You want to talk about a team with poor goaltending? The Vegas Golden Knights are in that bucket right now.
It is rough for them. All right. Obi-Wan says, oh my God, Mellerman, you're famous. He's here, folks. Michael Ellerman filling in for Charlie today and doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, I'm not. I actually exist. I'm not a fancy AI chatbot.
It's good to know that the people watching the show are real and not just like a bunch of Alexas. All right. Timbo Slice says, Brenna appreciation tax plus Mellerman appreciation tax. The people love the crew here today, and I can't blame them. Turbo Flyers is up. He says, we are 18-7-4 against the entire West. The East has been crushing the West. JJ used to, like a couple weeks ago, he was bringing it up all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the East is just crushing the West every time out there because I think there was that narrative that, oh, man, the West is so good. There's like 3 good teams, and so the mediocre ones just get to beat Vancouver and Calgary every night. Like that's just what it is out there.
Yeah, I mean, Colorado was just so visible when they were on that amazing streak that everybody just makes assumptions.
And they're like 500 since the calendar flipped.
Yeah,
they're gonna get caught. It looks like. I think Dallas is like a point behind them.
Yeah, they've been struggling.
It's pretty crazy. All right, R Park says Andre 1C. And a bunch of fire emojis. It is very funny what's going on. But again, like I think this is one of the reasons I am more impressed than annoyed. Yeah. There is part of me that gets annoyed. Like, no, you threw it away in January, and now you have to make me care anyway, and you're not going to do it, and that's going to make me mad. But considering the situation they're in now, where they're playing Andre at forward and defense, the captain's hurt. We don't know for how long. We got the Phantom's captain who hasn't played in the NHL since 2019 is up. Like, this is a pretty impressive and gutsy run for them in a season that they could have just kind of gone through the motions at the end.
Yeah, and we were trying to find comparables to what Andre has been doing, playing both positions. We came up with a pretty good one in Dustin Byfuglien.
Yeah, Byfuglien is a good one. That
was forever ago.
Because he would take shifts at both. Like, he would have a set position, but it was, hey, on the power play, go stand in front and stuff like that. Kapanen, when he was doing it, it was like, no, he got moved to defense. And I think Byfuglien is a decent, and he was freaking awesome too, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a side here. Maybe Andre showing that the bonk bumper plan not that outrageous.
Maybe it's not that crazy. Yeah. I've heard the Phantoms have started doing it a little bit, so I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of that. But
let's see what happens.
Some guys just have skills that like maybe don't match their position.
Yeah. Positionless hockey, man. That's what we need to do.
It's what I've always wanted.
Yeah.
All right. Scotty's Wild Adventures. Get that man some PHLY swag. We got to have some around here, don't we? Like, isn't there like a room with some stuff in it? I don't know.
I've got this amazing Wawa
mug. Yeah, you got the Wawa mug. Surprised that's not bolted down. All right. Next one is Timbo again. From 27 VTech. This new guy is freaking awesome. I concur. We love you, Mellerman. Oh, so many in the chat are fans of Michael today, and that's great to hear.
You guys are making me blush.
From JH says, Bill not even waiting for Chuck to be cold before replacing him. Chuck's fine. Chuck's having a great time. He is drinking beers with his friends, doing baseball stuff today. And guess what? We got a regulation win because of it, so I'll freaking take it.
Yeah.
I will take it.
Charlie is hanging out with a bunch of nerds right now, having a great time.
I'm just
drafting a powerhouse team.
Just picture knocked up.
Yeah, I got Matsui.
I got Matsui. Oh, that's good stuff. All right.
Love it.
Next one is Obi-Wan says, it feels so wrong to call you Michael. It's like it has been an adjustment because it's just been Mellerman in the chat, but his real name, Michael Ellerman, and he's joining us here today. And listen, sometimes people just show you they got something, and we've seen a bunch of his goalie breakdowns and stuff, and people have enjoyed them, and here we are. Figured we'd give it a shot, and it is going quite well.
I'm willing to bet that Obi-Wan has a real name too.
What if that was his name? Obi-Wan Kablomi is his real name. His parents were just so high.
I mean, it's either,
they were like, that's fine.
I mean, it's either that or Ben, right?
Yeah,
like it's got to be
one or the
those
other.
two. Yeah.
All right. Next one is Purple Crayon. McQueen mentioned he went 10, by the way.
All right, I was
That's close to 12.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We can trade up from 13 to 10. Right?
Yeah, it can happen.
Yeah.
Brenna laugh tax from JH, and finally to close it out, Timbo Slice. I'll miss Charlie. It was nice having him here. Charlie will be back whenever we're back. Tuesday, I think, is the next time we're on. Yeah.
I gotta say, I love Brenna's laugh in person is even better, guys. Like, it is amazing.
It's fantastic. All right. And guess what? This was fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me here today, Michael.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
I think we all really enjoyed ourselves, and we got a big Flyers win out of it. Woo. And that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers postgame, presented by Bet365. Did we get more? Yeah, we got more.
Oh, more.
All right. Obi-Wan.
Keep 'em coming.
My name is Eric, LOL. All right. Obi Eric from now on.
Yep.
And JH, RSVP Charlie, pouring one out for the coach. Do you
Look,
mean RIP Charlie? Not RSVP.
Look, guys, I can't write articles like Charlie.
No.
I can't.
No one can. They're 5,000 words. He's writing a term paper every time he writes an article.
Believe me, I appreciate it 100%. But Charlie, your job is safe.
He's excellent. Yeah, he's the best. It's just like, man, no wonder. Of course you're up till 3. It's 2 articles. Just do the other one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway. That is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers, presented by Bet365. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, follow us right here on the PHLY Sports YouTube page. We'll be back Tuesday. We are off Monday this week because they have Saturday and Sunday games next weekend. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers, and follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers. I am Bill Matz. That's Mellerman, Michael Ellerman. Thank you so much to Brenna. Be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.